Okay, on this trip, I went into the northern winds. I started here at Elkhart Park. I followed the trail. It's the Pole Creek Trail here up to Photographer's Point. Then down here to Elkland Lake, Barbara Lake, Hobbs Lake, up to Seneca Lake, and then into Island Lake on the first night. It's 12 miles. I set up base camp there, and then from there I hiked into Titcomb Basin. The trail doesn't end here, it's where it ends on the map, but I went all the way up into right here and then back. That was 12 miles that day. That was with no pack. Day 3 went from Island Lake up into Indian Basin. And then right here at the end of the lake, I went up to this saddle and attempted to summit Fremont. Fremont is 13,746 feet. I think I made it up 13,005, 6, something like that. And then clouds were starting to come in, so I came back down. Went back to Island Lake, spent the night. That day was 8.2 miles. After that, this will be day 4. I hiked off trail down to Wall Lake. It's a pretty decent hike. Once you get up in here, there's a bunch of boulder hopping, and you got to boulder hop all the way down. There's a little bit of route finding. There is a trail, but it ends like right about here. And then came down around here, and then right in here you got to climb up a little bit, and then it drops you back down, and then you can just follow the lake out, and then you start picking up the trail here. Now I hiked, I was going to set up camp at Cook's Lakes, but I didn't. I just kept on going, and I ended up camping here. Real beautiful spot right at this junction. And then day 5, I just hiked all the rest of the way out. There's some downfall right in here. It was real bad from that storm in September. And then it was pretty bad coming up out of Cook Lakes until about here is when they started, the clearing started again. Hiked up here past Mary's Lake, Two Bits Lakes, Elkland Lake, and then back out to the trailhead. That day was 10.6. And then from Island Lake to that junction was 8.4. Total miles for the entire trip was 51.2 miles in 5 days. Hope you guys enjoy watching. Thank you. So I'm at the Pole Creek Trailhead. I'm in maybe 800 feet or whatever. But anyway, I'm gonna probably hike into Titcomb Basin today. I was gonna stay at Lake Seneca, but I got an early start, so I think I'm just gonna hike all the way into not Titcomb Basin, but Island Lake. This is an extremely popular trail, so hopefully I can find something there. But anyway, I wanted to stop and show you. Last September they had a huge windstorm and tons of blowdown. This trail wasn't open all the way until about a month and a half ago, I think. But anyway, I'm going to show you what the blowdown kind of looks like. You know, Imagine the volunteers and all the forest workers took to clean all this up. It wasn't so bad on the other side of the range, but the west side here got hit the worst. Anyway, thought I'd show you. Well, we're up here at Photographer's Point. It's really beautiful. It's too bad it's so hazy from smoke. Right there, that's Fremont, which I'll be climbing not tomorrow, but probably the next day. And that pointy guy right there, that's Gannett. That's actually the highest peak. For the longest time they thought Fremont was, but Gannett is. Only by, I don't know, I'll have to look at the map. I think it's something really small, like 50, 75, 100 feet, something like that. It's the only difference. But it's about 4 point something miles in here, a little over 4.5. Got here in exactly 2 hours. It's a pretty good time. Trail up here is pretty straightforward, just a gradual rise the entire way. Until you get to this last little part, then you got to climb up the Photographer's Point. Alright, we're about 7 miles in or something like that. I always like taking a break at this stream. So I think there's about another 1.5 miles so we get to Little Seneca Lake. Big Seneca Lake comes first, and then Little Seneca. And then after that, I think it's only like 2 or 3 miles into Island Lake, so I'm just going to go ahead and go all the way in. But the stream is absolutely lovely. And it drops off into a cool waterfall. Just got this little climb up, and then we'll drop down into Seneca Lake. Oh, we're at Seneca Lake. There's Fremont, Indian Pass. Here's the lake. A little ways to go until we hit Little Seneca Lake, and I think I'll take a little break there. Here's the walk path that goes right along the lake. Imagine in the springtime, I'm sure it's pretty flooded over. Well, I made it into Island Lake. It's pretty close to 12, give or take, 11, 12, 12 and a half, something like that, I don't know. But I'm just going to hang out here for the rest of the night. Might put my pole together, do some fishing later when dusk gets closer. Right there we're looking up into the Titcomb Basin, which we'll be heading in tomorrow. I think, if I remember right, to get in there we'll go up right there. Oh, the inlet's over here somewhere too, where it's a really cool waterfall I might check out. Pretty much have the place to myself. I mean, there's some passerbyers. I think there's some people down there at the beach. Usually this place is packed with tents all down in here, and hopefully it'll stay that way the next couple days. Well, we're headed into Titcomb Basin today. There's the back side of it. I think that guy right there, I think that's Bonnie Pass. There's Fremont. Jackson Peak. Can't see it, but right to the right of that is Indian Bass. Here's the drainage out of Indian Basin. How truly amazing this place is. Damn shame there's nowhere to hang a hammock up here. So I've come across a couple of these rings or whatever. They're used for setting up tents here. There's a few over here. A lot of people that are climbing Gannett, they'll come in here and camp. And then go up Bonnie Pass. If I remember correct, on the other side of Bonnie Pass there's a few of these too. This is the upper end of Titcomb. I'm going to go a little further yet though. There's looking back on the basin. Well, I'm far up Titcomb Basin is not going to come. I was thinking about doing Bonnie Pass, but I think I'll save my legs for tomorrow. It's going to be, if I did that, it'd be about 2,000 feet elevation climb. I think there's another lake up here right behind this mountain. There's Bonnie Pass. And I know that's Miram Peak. I think that's Bob's Tower. And this one's Dinwoody. Back over here we have Fremont. I know this peak looks taller, but it's not Fremont. This looks taller because we're really close to it. That should be Fremont Peak. Which will come up. That's you can't see the saddle from here. There's a saddle on the other side will come up. Let's see how far we get up, whether we peak it tomorrow or not, I don't know. We'll find out. Well, we're heading into Indian Basin. At least attempt to summit Fremont. Got a little later started than I wanted. I woke up at 4, but fell back asleep. Just have to keep an eye on the weather. I think from what I heard before I came in here today, it's supposed to be clear. But that going in that way, that's where we went in on to go into Titcomb. And then this way, go right through there to get into Indian Basin. Well, down there at that lake, it's basically where my first film was. Climbing up into Indian Basin. I think all we got left is this little hump here, and then we should drop into the basin. Fremont Peak is right over here on the other side. So I'll get to the lakes up there, which is about the base of where you go start heading up, and a little snack, a little brunch or whatever. Load up on water. And start my ascent. Well, this part of Indian Basin, there's Fremont. We're gonna go up the saddle. And I don't know where we go from there. I think it follows up that way. We'll see when we get up there. There's a lot more to this basin behind these two guys. Here's a little better view of the lakes in the basin. Doesn't look quite as intimidating once you get closer up to it versus, you know, like 8 miles away. Got a nice little snow field almost at the saddle. They're nice to walk across, but depending on what time of year, you got to be careful, because you can bust through. But this one, pretty deep yet, I believe. Already crossed like 2 others and they were just fine, and this one's a huge one, so this one probably goes down 15-20 feet. Anyway, see you at the saddle. Well, made it up to the saddle. Not sure what the best approach is. There's a trail. I just kind of follow it and see where it leads. I guess as it goes up, there's a little crack. Indian Basin. Titcomb Basin. Steak Lake. That's the last lake in the basin. Between those 2 peaks, I think that's an upside cool. Yep. We'll get some. I almost made it to the top. Probably 300-400 feet in elevation more to go. But I got some clouds stacking up over the divide. I don't want it to get started down in case it does turn into a storm. Wish I had started earlier like I had planned, but it's alright. I'd rather make it almost all the way to the top, be able to make it down, because if it rained, if even a sprinkle up here, these rocks would be so slippery. I mean, it's going to be sketchy enough going down the way it is, but I'm going to head back down. By God, it's a beautiful view up here. This is what we climbed up. It's not too bad. There is somewhat of a footpath. There is a couple sketchy areas that I want to get down and around of before these clouds move in. Anywho, that was my attempt. I made it back to the saddle alright. I don't think those are storm clouds, but I wasn't taking my chances. I mean, they're creeping. If I would have left just 45 minutes earlier, because I was so close. That little knobber right there, that's where I was. Well, I call that close enough. Better safe than sorry. But I'm gonna get down. The clouds ended up getting angry. Glad I did come down. Can't see them here, like right over here is Fremont. Those clouds are pretty dark up there too. I'm back down nice and low. Take my leisurely time getting out of here. If it rains, it rains. I got a rain jacket. Just got back to camp. Hiked the last half mile in a sleet storm, and most of it's melted now. Trip to the winds is not complete without getting sleeted on. I'm really glad I came down that mountain now. Had some other people camped up here. They must have left. But Fremont Peak is clear. Well, all packed up, heading out. Heading over to Wall Lake and Cook Lakes area. Probably only be like 5 miles today. Once I get to Wall Lake, I'll probably start doing some fishing and head down to Cook Lakes, do some fishing there. I'll either stay there or I'll go into Pole Creek and camp there. But we'll see what happens. See you a little further down the trail. Well, we're up on the flat in between. The trail takes us in between this high point and that high point. There is a trail, but you lose it after a while, and it's blatantly obvious where you have to go. It's, you know, in between the two high points, that saddle. Then we'll drop down into Wall Lake. If I remember right, to get around Wall Lake, you have to go around the south side. So we'll find out when we get there. Well, I'm up to the saddle between Wall Lake and Island Lake. Island Lake's that way for 1.5 miles. And down there, if I can zoom in enough or not. It's the tail end of Wall Lake. So we'll go down around this snowfield and down. I think that way, according to the map, is too steep. Guess we'll find out when we get there. There's Wall Lake. spillway out of Top Lake. Feeding into the rest. That right there is what we came down. It's only about three miles from Island Lake to here, but it took me like maybe like 2.5, 2 3/4, but it took me 3 hours with route finding and boulder hopping almost the entire way down. That's all right. So Daddy had to pull over between doing Fremont yesterday and climbing in and out of Wall Lake today. I'm a little pooped. So I'm starting to set up camp. Pretty sweet little spot. Tarp. This is actually Pole Creek. It's coming out of the Cook Lakes right now. And then it'll drain into Pole Creek Lakes, that is. But this Pole Creek goes all the way down to Half Moon Lake I stayed at last year. And from there I don't know where it goes. Half Moon Lake's down by Fremont Lake. And then the outlet comes back around this way. I always bring my fishing pole, but I never do any fishing. I don't know if I will tonight or not. I'm kind of tired. I think I'm just going to leave fishing for day hikes, I think. It seems like once I get done hiking for the day, I really don't want to do anything. But I'm going to finish getting set up. Well, I'm here at Pole Creek Lake. Got up early and packed up. Heading back towards the trailhead. It's a little slow going. There's a lot of downfall that hasn't been cleared yet. We'll see how the rest of the trail goes. It wasn't too bad, so we'll see. Well, I'm here at Elkland Lake. About to meet back up with the I guess you could call it the Elkhart Trail. Technically it's Pole Creek Trail, the same one I'm on right now, but it's the one that takes you past Photographer's Point. About ready to head out. So I think it's about 5 miles. Not quite sure how many miles I did today. So far I lost my map. I think at Wall Lake, when I was shimmering down a cliff that I shouldn't have been on. That's neither here nor there. Probably won't see you until back at the trailhead.